Welcome to the 50th episode of Home Visit with Tyler Siskey and Associates. And I'm joined by one of the most popular past guests and the first repeat guest of Home Visit, the head football coach of Troy University, John Sumrall. How we doing, my brother?
I'm honored to be here and be 50th. I don't know. I would like to make one thing really clear. My next birthday, I'm 40, not 50. But
I know, right?
but I'm honored to be the 50th. I enjoyed last time so much that I agreed to do it again. Even the day before we start spring practice, tomorrow's first day of spring ball, and
How about that?
I took this time, because I love you. Yeah,
I know.
I love you. You're a dear friend. So,
Well, that's all. We're gonna have we're gonna have a great time. I actually have, when people go back and we've added a ton of listeners, obviously since the last time you were here. But everybody's like, hey, I went back and listened to John Sumrall episode. Man, that was awesome. I was like, okay, well, just wait. Now he's a head coach.
right.
You're a head coach.
Well, some people that might make you more guarded or whatever. I'm probably the same. It's not going to change how I interact.
And so you are living proof that the home visit guest mojo is a real thing.
Well, yeah.
Did you know that?
Well, I think a lot of guys. It's had success for a lot of guys. I mean, I was on, and then here I am. Rich Rod was on, right?
Yep.
Mike Mack, did he come on?
Yep, Mike Mack.
Yep. Matt Luke's the one that waited till after he won a national title and retired to
yeah, well, they had the gag order over there,
right?
And
he can only talk like one day a year, but so Matt, he waited till after he got a national championship. But yeah, it had great success for a lot of guys.
All right, we're gonna get into this thing, and I want to get, but before we get goofy and start giggling, I want to get one serious question. I think it's a good thing for fans to understand that I don't think they've ever really been let in on. I think it's something that when it comes out that in the media is a very guarded and thing, but I know you'll shoot it straight. That's why I love you, as you're a straight shooter. Can you let the fans inside and let's talk about, all right, you're at Kentucky, the timeline of how becoming from an assistant coach to a head coach, from when they contact you, you're working two jobs. I mean,
right.
Let's talk about the timeline of transitioning from an assistant coach somewhere else to a head coach, at Troy.
Yeah. So we are playing, it's Louisville week. It's a week of Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And the Troy job is open. And so there was a little bit of contact of, hey, are you interested? Would you want to be a part of this interview process potentially? And so it was kind of like Troy filling me out, me filling Troy out, making sure it was right. And had one conversation that week. Not a real formal. I mean, it was formal enough, but it wasn't like it was a phone call. It was having just a lengthy a 50-minute conversation on could this be right, et cetera, for both sides. And at the end of that conversation, I just said, hey, look, I think that was a Wednesday night of Thanksgiving, late night phone call. And after that, it was, hey, we got a game to play. It's kind of a big deal. We play Louisville this Saturday night. So if you're okay, let's have a conversation on the other side of that game. And so we played Louisville that Saturday after Thanksgiving, won the game. Quite honestly, after the game, like the interview conversation the next day was not the first thing on my mind. The first thing on my mind in the locker room after beating Louisville was like, all right, where can I get a cigar and some bourbon? Which might have been around us somewhere nearest to the locker room. But so we handled our business at Louisville, and then I proceeded to really have a fun Saturday night. We stayed up. I don't even know what time I went to bed. Like that was one of those nights. Like, all right, wherever I fall asleep, I fall asleep. It may be my leather chair, the couch, who knows? As long as it's inside. And so we got, but I went to bed really late, and then Sunday morning, shook off the cobwebs. Sunday afternoon, had a Zoom with the administration here at Troy, the athletic administration. that was pretty comprehensive. And then just kind of after that, sort of was like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to recruit for Kentucky, and talked through a lot of different things about my vision and things like that. And I asked them a few questions about what their vision was and expectations and where they felt like things currently stood with the program. And then it flew out to Macon, Georgia to go recruit, and recruited in Georgia Monday, Tuesday. Was in Alabama Tuesday night. Was with our head coach, Mark Stoops, at Kentucky Wednesday, in Birmingham, I believe. And then Thursday morning was the official interview that was like, I got called while I was out on the road recruiting, like, hey, did you bring a suit with you on the road? And I was like, yeah, just in case something came up. And so had a suit with me.
Did you have a tie?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not a tie guy.
I'm not a tie guy, but I had a tie.
Okay.
Yeah,
what color was the tie?
I think it was Cardinal.
Oh, okay. Cardinal. That's cool. That's convenient.
Yeah, I was prepared. Most of my stuff, most of my wardrobe the last couple of years has been blue, but I had a Cardinal tie from my previous stint here when I was an assistant. But met with the search committee, the whole group, the big group.
Now, where does that take place in Troy, or was it Montgomery, or where was it?
That was in Montgomery. Okay. And really, it was kind of ironic how convenient. Like, it wasn't for me getting way off of my travel plan to do it. It really fell right in the middle of my travel plan. It worked out perfectly. I was in between Birmingham and Tylertown, Mississippi.
Yep.
And that's, Montgomery's not a terrible place to have to go to do that. So worked out. Interviewed Thursday morning in front of the entire search committee. And then Thursday night, got the phone call while I was driving to Tylertown, Mississippi. I was going to see a receiver that we signed to Kentucky named Jordan Anthony, who right now is the fastest high school kid in America.
He can roll.
Can roll. Like, he's running 10.2s and stuff like that in the 100 right now. He's lightning fast. So Jordan was committed to us back in the summer last year at Kentucky. He was in my area because I had at Kentucky, Mississippi, Alabama, South Georgia, like the deep South. And Mark Stoops, who unbelievable mentor and friend to me, was obviously very aware and had spoken to the administration about me at Troy from Kentucky, about his experience around me and his thoughts and feelings on my preparedness and readiness to be a head coach. And so my talk with Mark was like, hey, even though I get the job, I'm going to go make sure Jordan Anthony, I go see him, we get him on the plane to come to Lexington, Kentucky for his visit this weekend. So I take the job Thursday night. I still drive after accepting the job as head coach at Troy to Mississippi to make sure Jordan understands, like, hey, man, I love you. I'm going to be at your visit tomorrow, not today, because I've taken this job. So I saw him Friday morning. I drive back to Troy from Tylertown, which isn't a short drive. That's like 5 hours-ish.
That's one of them things that doesn't look that far if you look at the map, but there's just no short way to get there.
No, there's no I-65.
No.
Like, it's you're deer dodging at night.
Yes.
And so I actually did a you'll appreciate this. They called me and asked me to do like a little message to the Troy fans, basically saying, hey, Troy Trojan Nation, John Sumrall here, new head football coach at Troy. Can't wait to see you soon type deal. And that whole video was narrated by one Lawrence Tynes.
That's my man, LT.
Yeah, which I've been waiting on LT. Everywhere I go to speak now, I've been waiting on LT to show up and introduce me. I thought he was going to introduce me everywhere I went, but it hasn't happened.
No,
but
he'll do it, though.
I do a video to release that I'm getting hired there in the mall in Hattiesburg. Okay. And then go see Jordan in Tylertown, drive back to Troy Friday morning, meet with the team Friday afternoon, do as much work as I can. Like, I stayed in my office till 1 a.m. that Friday night. Saturday morning, got on a plane to fly back to Lexington because we had 3 or 4 official visitors that weekend, and a couple of them were my area guys. We had a young man from South Georgia on a visit, a young man from South Mississippi, and Jordan Anthony on a visit. So I flew back Saturday, was with them Saturday during the day for their visit, just to make sure, because I'd been involved with these kids' recruitment for a while. And so spent time with them and their families a little bit Saturday. Sunday, packed a bag. Me and my family got back on a plane to fly back to Troy on Sunday. Did a Monday morning press conference. My family might have stayed till Tuesday or Wednesday. Then they flew back to Lexington. I was here for a couple weeks, just kind of getting my bearings straight on the roster and recruiting. One thing, the good and the bad that was set up here was I really didn't have a whole lot of open scholarships to sign new guys.
Yeah.
Which you would like to be able to add new players if you want to. But it also created a little bit calmer transition. So I wasn't like chasing my tail trying to.
That's a good point. Yeah, good point.
So what it really allowed me to do for the next couple of weeks, I had a ton of Zoom interviews with guys about joining the staff. I had probably 1,000 text messages. Like the first hour of getting the job, I had 700 friends. I was like, this be friends. I had 770 something text messages within an hour. And I'm like, I didn't know I knew that many people. And so, but really, I anchored down here in Troy for a couple weeks. Still was helping Kentucky recruit some. So like Jordan Anthony, the receiver, Jacoby Albert from Birmingham, from Fairfield, who's going to Kentucky. I helped recruit him still. And so I was still working for Kentucky, finishing the job at hand and recruiting there while getting to know our current roster and what we needed to do here to get things going in the right direction and getting familiar with the situation here. And then a couple of days after December sign day, I'm back on a plane, flew from Troy to Lexington, and then spent like the next 2 weeks doing bowl prep for the Iowa game. We played them in the Citrus Bowl on January 1st. Luckily, like defensively, it was the least involved I've been in with a game plan in a long time. I was like Brad White, who I worked with at Kentucky, and those guys. I was like, hey, y'all just tell me what calls we're running. Like I know the adjustments, kind of like I'd show up to the practice field and I'm like, I'm not sure if I watched that play on tape yet. Like, so I was like, I wasn't sleeping. I landed on Saturday to fly back after the signing day in December. I land at like mid-afternoon, and that night we literally had a staff Christmas party and neighborhood Christmas party for a lot of our staff families and friends, where Santa Claus has made an appearance every year for the last several years. So that's on
his winter stops is the Kentucky staff Christmas party.
Well, wherever I'm at now.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, he just shows up where we are.
Okay,
but it's on the calendar, yeah. And so land, Christmas party, practice the next day. We're in practice mode, and I'm like, it's the first time I've ever like taken my cell phone to the practice field and like looked at it after a drill. Like, did I miss any calls or like? Because I'm trying to hire. Like,
hey, let me ask you a question. So, if you had like a coordinator that you were trying to get, and you were right in the middle of inside, would you have answered the phone?
I texted back. I'd have been like, "Hey, I'll call you after practice." But
were you negotiating salaries in the middle of 7-on-7?
No. Luckily, man, our staff. I feel great about our staff, and they were unbelievable in regards to like. First off, I was really, really slow, like hiring the staff. It took me 3 weeks to hire the 2 coordinators.
Yeah,
and then I accepted the job on Thursday, December the 2nd. I didn't hire my 3rd new hire on the field until January the 4th officially, because I just wanted to be very detailed and methodical and thorough.
You got one chance to get it right.
Yeah. And so for me, it wasn't about like, nobody's going to give me extra credit for hiring the staff fast. So I took my time, had a lot of conversations to make sure people's interest was real and authentic in what they were about, and did my homework and talked to a lot of references on people if I had not worked with a couple of the guys that we hired. And but it went really, that part went good, but it was crazy. I mean, it was legitimately, we're at the bowl site in Orlando. We're going to practice in the morning. We're coming back. I'm coming right off the bus to go do Zoom interviews. Then I'd watch whatever I could of the practice tape. It was like just nonstop. Like it didn't feel like a bowl game to me. It felt like I was like it was like training camp. And so now I did usually find my way as soon as I got done with those obligations to the pool at the hotel, and usually grabbed an adult beverage or two to at least have a good time and watch my kids go down the slide at the hotel we're staying at or whatever. And but then the game, quite honestly, the game was an amazing game. We beat Iowa 20-17.
Great finish.
DeAndre Square, who's one of my favorite kids I've ever coached in my life, playing on a really injured foot that happened in the third quarter of the game, comes back in, catches a pick to close the game. It was like one of those just fairy tale endings of how do you
movie stuff, man.
I like for it to end like that. And so had a blast, got back on the plane, flew to Lexington, had a couple days, and then we're here full time. And so it was really fast. For a month, it was like I didn't sleep. It didn't feel like. I mean, to be honest with you. So, but it was good. And really, both sides, Troy and Kentucky, both administrations, administration here at Troy, Brent Jones and Dr. Hawkins, and then at Kentucky, Dr. Eli Capilouto and Mitch Barnhart and Mark Stoops, and both sides were ridiculously kind and generous to me and my family in regards to giving me the opportunity to finish it the right way at Kentucky, and while still doing this deal here.
And no doubt. All right, so I got to check in. Since you've been on last time, there's a lot of people that don't know that you and I guess by the letter of the law, we'll probably be related one day, because I want to check in because Knox, my 6-year-old, would like to check in and see I'm just checking how's my future daughter-in-law Stella. How's she doing?
Yeah, Stella is. It's an arranged marriage that we're going to have one day. I'm sure that Aaron and Jenny have already got that worked out. Stella is 5, will be 6 in June. The current thing at my house that drives me crazy, that somehow it gets started in kindergarten, 1st, 2nd grade, is so-and-so has a crush on me. And I'm like, no, they don't. No, they don't. And if they do, they can come to my house because you're in kindergarten or whatever. There's no such thing as a crush yet. And so, but Stella is a rock star. She's a sweetheart. She's kind of in our family, we've got 4 kids, and she's the third, and they're very dry sense of humor.
That's my girl.
She got an old soul, man. She got a little something about her, and she's not real interested in whether you like what she says or not. She just gives it to you straight.
That's what I'm talking about.
You can say Stella, I love you, and she's like, thanks.
Stella Siskey has a good ring to it. You know what I mean? Let's say we got it. Knox has got it. I just got to make sure Knox doesn't screw it up between now and 20-25 years from now.
Yeah, no doubt. But no, Stella is great. Stella was just at the she was our point of my spring break trip of going to Disney. She was the point of emphasis, because in our family it's like a rite of passage. I grew up summer vacation was hey, you get to go play baseball. You get 60 baseball games, and that's summer vacation.
Right?
And you're all right, that's
you get to go to the pool at the Holiday Inn while you're playing baseball.
Yeah, in between baseball games, you go jump in the hot tub at the Dewdrop Inn, and so we in my family somehow my kids have gotten fortunate that it's a rite of passage trip between 5 and 6. You get a Disney trip, and I'm like, hang on,
okay,
can I go back to being 5? Please.
No kidding.
And so we just got back for Stella's Disney trip. We take whoever's the 5, almost 6-year-old, and the oldest siblings also get to go, but the trip's really about the 5-year-old. So
I got you.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite ride? Because what was your favorite ride at Disney?
Yeah, easy. Flight of Passage in Animal Kingdom, the Avatar ride that you hop on.
Dude.
And it's it's animated up and down. You get splashed with water in your face. It's awesome. We went with Sam and Sadie, our twins that are 8. It'll be 9 in the summer. when I was leaving Ole Miss to go to Kentucky.
Right.
When we
I remember that.
did that trip, and it was my favorite ride then. And we went this time, and I was like, it's still my favorite ride.
Have you ever I did this. There was another ride. I don't remember if it was at the Animal Kingdom or if it was something else, but it was one of those simulator cut type deals.
Yeah.
But it may have been that one where you're in a room and you're like with 5 different people, right? You're in this closed room. But then like if you take off your 3, because I got motion, one of those I got a little nauseous. All right. So I picked up the glasses or whatever, and you realize, I guess they move you out and you're in a room with like 300 people and they're all around you.
Oh yeah.
Did you do that? Did you look to see? Because you're not in there by yourself.
I did not. No, you're not in there by yourself. What I did is I had Stella, our 5-year-old, sitting next to me on my left, and I just kept checking over. I'm like, Stella, you good? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, Stella, give me a thumbs up. And she'd give me a thumbs up. I'm like, Stella, is it 2 thumbs up? And she'd give me 2 thumbs up. I'm not, if they tell you to put something on one of those rides, I'm not taking it off till the ride's over because I don't know what it's going to do to me. Now, the ride that was closed last time we were there was Space Mountain.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is the indoor one.
Oh yeah. That's one of my jams.
And I loved it, but it's like, it really wasn't that scary because I'm like, I can't even see what's happening. It's dark.
Yeah. You're just getting yanked around.
I'm just like, it's really not that thrilling because I'm like, it's all in the dark. So I don't really know what's going on anyway. It's like, it'd be scary. Where I would struggle is if it's like, hey, like, so we didn't do the Tower of Terror at, but that would bother me more. Like if I could see the drop coming and then the drop happens, that doesn't fire me up.
Yeah, well, the Tower of Terror is a good one. It's kind of like, was it Free Fall they had at Six Flags, when we were kids, but you saw the whole thing the whole time. With Tower of Terror, you're like running through this little ride. You're thinking, oh, it's all great. And all of a sudden the door opens and you're, oh shit, here we go.
It drops.
It's bad ball. But
I don't like seeing the drop. That's where like the Space Mountain, it didn't bother me because I'm not seeing any of it. I don't like seeing but anyway, but no, we had a blast. It's one of those vacations that you need a vacation right after. You know what I mean? You got to take it.
No question.
I'm like, I need a day off after that trip. Like that was work.
So whenever we went last, we stayed on property or whatever. And so you get this extra time in the park. If you're staying on property, it's like
we do the same thing. You get
10 to midnight or something, some late hours or whatever it is.
They used to do the late hours, but you also get park entry early too.
Well, yeah, I missed that notification. Now, mine was park entry late, or so I don't know what Aaron signed us up for, but I just know that we would go with the kids during the day, and then I had to take Jackson and Brock back because they're older. At nighttime, I was putting in like 30,000 steps on my old Fitbit.
Oh yeah, no, you'll get your steps in. We had some sort of deal. We were early park entry because we stayed on property, and so last time we stayed at the Grand Floridian, and this time we stayed at the Polynesian.
Okay.
Which both of them were cool. The Grand Floridian's a little more like adulty, like it's almost feel like I'm at the Hotel Del in San Diego, kind of like. Okay. It's a little more fancy feeling. And then the Polynesian's probably a little more kid friendly. The pool a little bit more kid friendly, I think. But no, we were there. My wife, we had like it's now. It used to be Fast Pass. Now it's the Lightning Lane. That's the new.
Oh, Lightning Lanes. I don't know about that one.
Now, Lawrence Tynes, LT, he tried to tell me, hey, just pay for the VIP deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Matt Luke knows about that too. He knows about that VIP.
So I'm like, Jenny, Lawrence Tynes said we should do the VIP deal. And Jenny's like, yeah, that's $800 an hour, minimum of 10 hours. You sure you want that? Like, no, don't. Let's not do the VIP.
You hadn't had that head coach check hit enough yet to drop that yet?
I'm the head coach at Troy, not at Alabama. Like I'm the head coach at Troy in Alabama, but not at Alabama. And so I'm like, no, we're not spending 8 G's
to not stand in line
at the Magic Kingdom. No, that's like I could go buy a side-by-side or a golf cart or a ATV or
jugs machine.
Yeah, 10 jugs machines. I mean, golly, what are you talking about? 8 G's for a day at a Disney park? Get out of here. So we did the Lightning Lane and we did the early park entry. So my wife had it itineraried out. We were on this ride at this time. It I just follow the leader. Like tell me where to go.
Yeah.
And I think zero about it. I just go enjoy the deal. I keep my complaints to a minimum because my investment, other than paying to go, the planning part, I did very little at best. And so I'm just there for
Long for ride. Just show up.
Yeah.
Just tell me where I need to be, what time I'll be there.
Feed me, put me on the ride. I'm good.
All right. We got some fun stuff coming. Ready?
Yeah. What's up?
It's March Madness. So we got a little basketball going. I know you're a big basketball fan.
Yeah, I like basketball. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I know you know this. So St. Peter's beat Big Blue Nation.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of Kentucky people listen to this one. So St. Peter's, you've heard that before? You've heard it in the last couple of days?
I've heard St. Peter's beat Kentucky, and then they beat
They beat Murray. They just rolled right through the state of Kentucky.
Beat 16. They just rolled through the whole state of Kentucky.
They did. All right.
Which, by the way, before you go further, their coach had a classic line. They asked him about something like, was he going to be worried about somebody's size in one of these games coming up? And did he think they'd be intimidated? And he's like, I got dudes from New York City and from New Jersey, my team. You think we're going to be intimidated by a guy at 6'8"? Is that going to scare him? It was classic. I loved his response. But anyway, I don't even know the guy, but I heard his response. I'm like, I like this guy. So,
all right. Did you? Because I'm going to be honest. I had never, if you told me St. Peter's, if you showed me, you were like,
yeah.
Which one of these is a basketball team? And you said university, and you said St. Peter's. I honestly have never heard of them.
Okay.
Have you heard of them before?
No, except for So I've been to St. Peter's Prep, which is in Jersey City, New Jersey.
Okay, so that's question number one. Do you know where St. Peter's is located?
Jersey City.
And that's because you went to St. Peter's Prep to recruit.
Yeah. So
That's cheating.
heard of it.
I didn't know that.
Never heard of it. I went there, me and Brad White, the spring of 2019. So Brad's from the Northeast. I'm from the South. And when Brad's taking me to go recruit the Northeast, I'm having a blast, dude.
It's just you're home away from home, right?
Yeah, it's a concrete jungle. I've never, some of these places, and we're literally going to St. Peter's Prep, and I'm like, you can look across the river and there's New York City. Yeah. And I'm like, people actually play football here? I figured this is just where people worked.
Yeah, right.
And we go to St. Peter's Prep, the high school, and Jared Parker, who's a good friend of mine that was a teammate of mine in Kentucky. He's now the tight ends coach at Notre Dame. But at the time, Jared was at Penn State, and Jared had that area recruiting. We walk up to the school. Jared's at the workout. We go watch. I'm there to go watch a linebacker. There's a really good player that I believe he ended up going to Ohio State. But the only reason I even thought about it was while we were there, I heard about they had a little small college there also named St. Peter's. Gotcha. Other than that, never would have heard of it in a million years. Because I went to St. Peter's Prep, I heard about St. Peter's, the college there.
All right. Do you know what their mascot name is?
Yeah, well, yeah, everybody does.
Now you do, right?
Peacocks.
Is that not the coolest thing ever?
That's pretty cool. Yeah. No, they're the Peacocks. Yeah.
And I love that. They need to get some uniforms that look like the peacock feathers. That would be
the feathers. Yeah, no doubt.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that would also probably give your eyes a lot of pain if you watch the game.
Yeah, but you would remember them though.
It's like some of these basketball courts now that have all these crazy designs.
How nuts could you go with the basketball court with the peacock?
Oh, the peacock. Yeah, you could do the whole thing. No, over the top. They're probably after this trip they go to the Final Four. They win it all. They should be able to do it now. They should. Get it done.
I did see a fun fact, and we'll talk about it later, but I saw a fun fact where so far, just since this past week, they've had over $71 million in free advertising for the university in the last 3 days. It's insane.
That's crazy. I bet it will be interesting to track too, is what happens with their applications and all that. Because they're getting so much more exposure than they've ever had.
That's awesome. All right, so here are the last two questions. St. Peter's. Can you name what conference they're in?
It's either it's not the MEAC, but it's like the MAAC.
I'm so I was about to say the F word. I'm so, and my mom's listening.
Yeah.
I'm so, she loves you. So I know
Yeah.
she's going to be paying attention. She wears me
Is
out
it
about my language.
is it the Mid-American Atlantic Conference? Is that
It's
what
the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
got it? Yeah.
But
I
you
knew it was
got the
the
letters right. I'm impressed because I
yeah, I
had
knew it was
no idea.
I knew it was the MAAC. Well, so I actually look at this stuff like when I'm not gonna act like I knew it before going to the Kentucky game. I didn't.
Okay.
But after they beat Kentucky, I'm like, I gotta find out about these dudes. I did already know the Jersey City part.
Okay.
I did not know their conference. I can't claim that. But yeah, they're the MAAC. I think they're getting ready to get an invitation to the Big East after this tournament. So they're getting ready to upgrade their
Upgrade the recruiting budget as well.
yeah, conference realignment is going to treat them well after they win the national title.
They're either going to have to update their NIL budget or their under the table NIL budget. One of the two if they go to the Big East. One or the other.
Well, and hey, how can you not pull for them though at this point? I mean,
yeah, you got to pull for them.
Like, you got to. Teams like that, you got to.
All right, and last bonus question: can you name one other team, just one other team from the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference? I had to look it up too.
Probably not. Monmouth is not in there.
They are.
Boom, Monmouth.
Look at you, dude! I'm so impressed.
Monmouth, yeah. So
all right, I'd heard of Iona because that's where Patino coaches, so that's in that league.
Yeah,
we got like Niagara. Like when I started looking at the league, I recognized teams that had been in the tournament before.
Yeah, you know the league, yeah.
Like, is it Quinnipiac or whatever that is? They're in there. So yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah,
I'm really impressed.
Monmouth, yeah. Monmouth has had, their FCS non-scholarship football is Monmouth, or maybe it's need-based financial aid model, and they've had some good teams. They've had some decent, some quality, 1AA non-scholarship football teams. Because I'm such a football junkie that I can tell you plays every level.
All right, here we go. What's the best part now that you're a first-time head coach? Been a head coach for like 3 or 4 months now.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm very well seasoned.
You're a seasoned vet.
Yeah.
What's the best part about being a head coach? Is it getting the best parking spot, or is it ending the staff meeting whenever the hell you want to?
Definitely the second part. The parking spot doesn't really matter to me. I don't really care. Like if we have a guy score 5 touchdowns against somebody, I'm going to let him park in my spot. I don't care. I don't know if that's illegal or not. I have to get that cleared through compliance.
Yeah, check with compliance first.
Yeah, I'll call compliance before I do that. But the parking spot doesn't really concern me. Being able to set, I think the two things when you're a head coach, you get to set the culture and the calendar. So you get to decide, like, hey guys, you don't like. We came back in the office yesterday after spring break because we needed to kind of get reorganized Sunday night. And so I said, hey guys, like, don't eat dinner here. Don't guard your desk at this office tonight. If you do, I'm going to lose my mind. It's not okay. Like, go eat dinner with your family. Like, it's spring practice. And so like definitely getting to set the calendar. I'm not really into like crazy long staff meetings. I mean, I think you got to meet. Yeah. I think you got to meet and have battle rhythms. Like we're going to meet every Monday on academics. So we're going to meet, like, I got to have that routine, but like, I'm not really in there just to hear myself talk. You know what I mean?
Hey, how many staff meetings have you and I been in together where you just kind of we were in that circular table?
Oh yeah. At Ole Miss. Yeah.
At Ole Miss. And we'd be looking at each other like, oh. And it was never the staff meetings. Matt did great. We were in and out. It was always like the extracurriculars. They went like, we'd be in there reading about, little Johnny's math test and what he's got this week. Like, dude, I was wanting to just go. I mean, I was just like, oh my gosh. Like there was literally 50,000 things I'd rather be doing.
Yeah. Well, for me, that was my first, I GA'd at Kentucky, but that was my first SEC job. And so I walk in when I first got hired, and I had come there from Troy, where I had been an assistant. And I walk in, and I'm like, what are all these people doing here?
A lot of people.
Like, why is there 80 people in this room? Like, what do all you people do? Look, like, I thought you could only have 10 football coaches.
How many people did you see that when you first went in there that you had no idea who they were?
Like 98% of the people in the room had no idea. I knew like the defensive staff and a couple of the offensive assistants. That was about it. Like after that, I was like the periphery of that room. I was like, whoa.
It used to not be like that. And then just like when we got here the first time when I came with you, there wasn't, and that was my first SEC job. And so we came in and then it kind of, staff sizes started blowing up. And then when I got to Alabama, I was like, God, I mean, there was freaking dudes everywhere. I mean, there were people everywhere. And I was like, I mean, I legit would be there for like, I mean, I was there, almost 3 years. And there was still to the last day I was there. There was some people in there that I literally had never had a conversation with in the 3 years I'd been there because they're on they're miles away. I don't even know where their office is or what they did. And I mean, and you wouldn't even see them at practice. You wouldn't see them on game day. You wouldn't see them at anything. And they'd just be in a staff meeting and you're like, and they wouldn't talk. So I didn't know what they did.
You know
they
what
just
did. Yeah.
Listen. So
it's like you're working for the federal government. And you're in a meeting. You're like, what does that guy do? What's he doing here?
Some of that CIA conspiracy stuff that you like so much.
No, it is crazy because like at the end of the day, we're trying to make sure we teach guys how to tackle a guy with a ball and like make a block and throw the ball. And sometimes we can get out in front of our skis on how much stuff we need done. But
yes,
we found plenty of ways to overcomplicate really a fairly simple game.
We have done that.
Yeah,
it really, and it's really not that hard. Which I appreciate your transition here because I got this really leads up to my next question. You're a big math guy. Okay, we established that in the last podcast. That was, by the way, I went back and listened to it. It was episode 7. So anybody listening today would like to listen to his,
which is the biblical number of perfection.
That is right. That's correct.
And now we're 50. So
50, the golden episode. I don't even know what 50 is. I know 20. I don't even know. So, but you're a big math guy. So are you going to use analytics now that you're a head coach? Are you going to use that in your decision making?
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I'm not going to be walking around the sideline with a book out in front of me trying to figure out what does the book say all the time. But I think you going into a game, you constantly are looking at tendencies and probabilities versus other teams and your self-scout stuff on, hey, P and 10, 1st and 10, 2nd down.
So you're talking about the stuff that we've been doing for the last 25 years.
I'll do all of that. And then I'll look at the analytics of based upon time in a game, should you go for it on 4th down under a certain yardage and all that. I mean, there will be most of that will be before the game stuff that I'll have already kind of looked at. And we will use the book but I'm not going to within the game have the book on me. Like, hey, let me pull up my book and tell me what the book's. But
it's the greatest thing for a head coach though. So as your friend, so this is my free advice for you as a friend. It's sometime, I don't know when, but at some point in time after a game, you're going to get the question, Coach Sumrall, why did you go for it there on 4th down? Just say, that's what the analytics said. And just be done with it. And because they have no idea what the analytics said. They have no clue. They have no clue.
The analytics. Now, I will say this, and I'm not going to put people out there, but these people that do the analytics a lot of them are former football coaches, very, very good football coaches, knowledgeable. And there is mathematical probabilities and statistics that are involved. And, I think too, there are a certain amount of those things I'm going to know very well and follow pretty close to the book. But at the same time, you got to take into account of all right, are we the deeper team? Are we the underdog or are we the favorite?
Is your right guard out for the game?
Your starting quarterback out of the game.
Yes, I'm a math guy too. I'm a math guy too. And then in math, you have these things called variables. Okay. Correct. When the variables change, the math changes.
Yeah.
And that's what drives me nuts about this stuff is everybody thinks, well, the book says to do this. Well, the book didn't know that your quarterback's sitting over there with a concussion.
Right. And the book didn't know that it was going to be 8 degrees with driving rain or whatever. Yeah. So you do have to take into account some of those things that are maybe a little bit different and unique, but yeah, within reason, I'm going to know what the analytics say. And I've already actually myself, Caleb Ross, who you know is our director of football operations and high school.
He'll be all over that.
Former Alabama high school coach. Caleb and I have already started to sit down and go over some of those things because Caleb's got a really good football mind. He's been a head coach a lot longer than I have, and so him and then some other guys in our staff all involved, the coordinators, and we'll make sure we know, hey, when is this, a potential go for situation on fourth down. It's interesting, the term like 4 down, it is really a defensive term. So it is interesting you brought this analytics thing up, because it's something now that I'm a head coach I've thought about is it's 3rd down. You have to think defensively, hey, this could be 4 down territory. Okay. As a defensive head coach, though, I'm not going to tell the offensive coordinator on our staff, hey, it's 4 down territory for you here. Well, if it's 3rd and 4 and it becomes 4th and 1, it might be. But if it's 3rd and 4 and it stays 4th and 4, it might not be. So there might be a situation where I say, like, hey, get half of it or do whatever, and then I'll make the decision. But I'll tell him to help him understand his play call, because it may not be 4 down territory. What if we take a sack? We're not going for it on 4th and 11. And so,
hey, that reminded me. I got to tell you,
I've thought about a lot of that stuff.
I got to tell you something funny. You just literally made me just flashback. I've never told this story before. All right, so I'm a young coach. First time I ever calling plays in a game, and the head coach. It's 3rd and 1. Okay, it's 3rd and 1, and I'm getting ready. And this is a long time ago. We're in huddles and stuff. He's like, Tyler, can I have this one? I was like, yeah, you're the head coach. You can call whatever the hell you want to call. Okay. So he says, I want to run this play. So he didn't even know he's a defensive guy. Had no idea what to call the play. He just wanted to run a particular play.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So he says, can I have this one? I said, sure, call it. So he didn't know what to call it. So he told me I sent it in. And this is when you're huddling and stuff. So as the guy sending the play in, he asked me on the headset. And remember, it's 3rd and 1. And he goes, we're going to have to go for it here. What you got for 4th and long? And I go, I thought I was going to get fired after this one as a young coach. I was like, I got a better idea. If you think it's going backwards, don't call the play.
Right.
It's like, what are we doing? That happened. I swear on my life. And there's probably people listening that were on the other end of that headset that heard that happen. I thought I was in a twilight zone.
Yeah, you're like, hey, why don't we try to make it 1st and 10, or at worst, like 4th and 1?
Yeah. And here's the better part is, who I had at running back then? And I had 2 players, not one. I had 2 players averaging over 10 yards a carry at that point in time.
How about that?
And we wanted to give it to somebody else to get 1 yard.
Yeah.
We make this game way too complicated.
Yeah. Get your good players the ball.
All right. So you're also a math guy, right?
Yes.
We talked about this last time. You said you were going to do some investigation. This has been about a year ago.
Uh-oh. I'm going to have to rack my brain here, because I'm not going to lie. I've got some mental deficiencies at times, and
I do too, but that's why we make a great team, because usually I can remember and you can remember, and we vice versa.
It's almost been 2 years ago. We talked during COVID.
No, cuz.
Yeah, promise.
The podcast is only a year old. It's episode 50 once a week.
There you go. I told you I got mental issues. All right, keep going.
All right. Have you purchased any crypto in the past year?
None.
You didn't do it?
No. I don't know how to do it.
I'll get with you. You need to get some Bitcoin right now.
Is Bitcoin still going up? How much?
No, it's down, but it's going to go back up. Bitcoin, load it up.
My struggle is, I'd rather buy like land or something I can go do something on.
Crypto. Just sprinkle with it. You got plenty of money now. Just sprinkle a little bit on it. You just take that money that you were going to spend for the just take that money you're going to spend on the VIP
Troy in Alabama, not Alabama, right?
Hey, take that money that you were going to spend on the VIP experience and buy you some crypto.
I wasn't going to spend the money on the VIP experience, but I will. Yeah, I'll give you the number to my financial guy. Y'all can work through what crypto is and all that. I just, it is interesting to me. I don't.
So you're playing, and because we got a lot of new people listening. Okay, so I want to make sure all the fans know he's playing a little coy right here, but you're very experienced in understanding the financial workings of the stock market and financial planning, because that's what you
Well, yeah,
do.
I got a finance degree.
There you go. Make sure they know that, because you're like, I don't know what crypto. You know exactly what it is. See, a lot of the fans don't know that.
I'm not like no. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a practicing financial advisor, but like I know enough to be dangerous. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. I'm not actually like I don't need to be managing anybody's money professionally, but I can have a legitimate conversation about stuff.
I'm looking it up right now. Go ahead.
Crypto's still very foreign to me. It's still I deal in things I can see most of the time. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and you said, like my granddad always said, he said, always invest in land, because that's the one thing that you can't make any more of.
Can't get more of it.
You can't get more of it.
How, dude? I wish years ago, even when I didn't have any money, I wish I'd have bought land like down 30A.
Ooh.
Just like a piece of land, not even a house, just a piece of land. I was talking to somebody last weekend. I don't know. I was talking to a guy last weekend. He bought a house down there, and he sold 7 years later. He sold it for $700,000 more.
Ooh.
I'm like, in 7 years. But anyways,
yeah. All right. Have you seen the video of Ed Orgeron checking those dudes up at spring break over Twitter this weekend?
Okay, I have not. I got your message about this.
You didn't see it?
Oh,
dude.
What is this? What did he do?
I don't know what happened. It was and I think I saw it on Barstool Sports. I think retweeted it, but it's been going viral. I think that's how I saw it. But I guess he was like, he didn't have a shirt on. He was definitely in spring break. He was somewhere beachy.
So no shirt on.
No shirt. It looks like what's the bar down in it's kind of like Floribama, but I don't think it's Floribama. Is it Lulu's that's down there where you can kind of like
Lulu's is in Gulf Shores. It's on the Intercoastal.
So that's kind of like that feel to us, what it looked like, or a little Floribama action, to where he was coming off the beach or something. He was walking in a bar with no shirt on, and somebody was filming him or something. It looks like one of the kids. It was like college kids, and they smarted off to him. Yeah. And dude, he had the clenched fist and was staring like, dude, he's about to get with it. I can't believe you didn't see that one yet.
I didn't, and I kind of like
that was good stuff.
You almost like, honestly, I respect the guy for at least going out and doing life normally, because most people of that stature or whatever would just be like, I'm just going to go to some secluded place or wherever. And the fact that he's out there, but I feel pretty good that would have to be a really mentally tough college student to hold their own with Ed Orgeron, because I think.
Well, I can tell you by the look of the dudes. Yeah, by the look of the dudes, they realized really quick they didn't want none. Like,
no, they probably did not want none.
They realized really quick that they wasn't on Twitter, and they wasn't behind their keyboard, and so they wasn't on a message board, and it was on like Donkey Kong.
There's a lot of things that are just not good ideas, and I think probably trying to pick a fight with Ed Orgeron is probably not a good idea.
Yeah, because he has nothing to lose. Because guess what? He's got his 19 million, and he is like, woo! He don't care. He'll knock you out. Yeah, that was a bad idea.
I mean, if he's wearing his national championship ring, it might hurt.
He probably would hurt regardless, I think.
Might hurt even worse. Yeah.
All right. Hey, how about this? I didn't even tell you about this, but this made my day. I'm going to see if you're going to be here. I'm very curious. This came on my email today, literally right before we got on here. Did you know that on April the 2nd at Talladega Super Speedway, they are having a fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club of Central Alabama, and for $50, you can take your car for 2 laps around Talladega Super Speedway.
How about that? I unfortunately will not be there. That's pretty cool. We have spring practice that day, so
you're not going to skip spring practice for that?
I'm not going to skip spring practice, and I don't have my lights went off from my office.
I saw that. You got those high dollar lights. I remember that. Yep.
I didn't move along in a while, so they went off. No, I'll be at spring practice. That's a really cool fundraiser, and a great opportunity.
How many of our kinfolk are going to be running laps around
Dude,
Talladega Speedway?
Dude, I got all kinds of cousins that are going to be there, wowing out. They're going to be shirtless and probably starting to fight with other people.
Every year, dude. Every year when you go to the race, there's some when they you can cross the track on turn 3. You go to the infield.
Yep.
Every year, it never fails. Every year, some drunk ass from the infield, instead of going across the track, he's gonna hook a left and start trying to go around turn 3 and 4, taking off.
Right, not a good idea. Maybe one of the best bowl experiences I've ever had. After the 2019 season, we were playing Virginia Tech in the Belk Bowl at Charlotte.
I know you told me about that.
And we got to get in the car with a professional driver and go top speed around the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Were you scared shitless?
No, it was cool.
Did he put you up next to the wall?
Yeah, I was next to the wall. Yeah, because I had a professional driver in the driver's seat, and I was in the right hand.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying, did he ride up against the wall, like trying to scare you?
No. They wrote it like it was like, dude, it was freaking rad. Like I was sitting there, I'm like I was like, can I just go again? Like that was pretty cool. Like,
could you do that? You think you could be a NASCAR driver?
No, heck no.
You could at like Daytona or Talladega. Just get on the yellow line and just freaking floor it, and just get in the draft and ride out.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you the intense focus you have to have for that length of time without ever like just relaxing. Like just think about you go on a long drive and you're like you have to stay in a pretty similar position the whole time. At some point, I'm like, God, I got to do something with my neck or move around. But yeah, it was a blast. Our whole team did it. It was freaking awesome.
All right, before we go, I got a couple things before we get you out of here. I got to bring this up because we have a ton of people here in Oxford that listen. Okay, in your first game as a head coach is going to be in Oxford, Mississippi.
That's right.
How about that?
Yeah, it's exciting opportunity that, I would have been okay if they'd have let us like warm up with a high school JV team first and then go. But no, it's a great opportunity, man. Those guys, obviously, SEC program, fantastic environment.
You can feel free to leave bulletin board material here if you would like to.
Not gonna do it. No, we have not had our first spring practice. So.
You don't want to talk shit before you even had your first spring practice yet?
I'm pretty sure I'm not comfortable with doing that yet.
Hey, if you ever decide to talk shit can you come on here and talk shit?
I will.
Can this be the place?
It'll be after we win like a lot of games. I got a lot of work to do before I start just doing any of that. But we got it's going to be a great opportunity. They're dang good, man. They got players. They're only scoring like 50 points a game. I mean, but no, it'll be fun. I tell you,
I was laughing because you swapped modes. You went from talking. You didn't want to talk shit, so you're coach. Like you went straight head coach mode where you started talking about 50 points.
Yeah,
SEC team.
I like this. I did flip. I was like, bring it back in here.
Yeah, you just brought it back. Brought it back.
Bring it back in. No, I'll tell you, I'm excited about every game. Like I get excited about everywhere we get to play. I mean, the great thing about the game of football, and not being in coach speak here, you play so few games in a season. They're all so valuable. Every one of them's fun. Like,
right.
I was actually having a conversation with one of our guys on our staff here earlier today. Like tomorrow is like Christmas Day for me because we start practice.
Yeah.
Right. And practice is it's the coach's time to help the players improve and get better and hone in on the details and techniques and fundamental. Game day, it's about the players. I mean, yeah, we'll put our players in the best position to win games and do all that. And I'll have fun on game day and be excited. And
how juiced are you going to be in that locker room in your first pregame speech? How juiced?
I'm juiced at all of them, and I'll be juiced.
Yeah. I mean, like seriously though, like people don't know this about you. You're beyond juiced. You're a juice factory.
I'm a fiery pregame dude. Like
but it's yours. It's your speech. Have you already like thought about? I mean, like. Have you got yourself there yet?
No, I haven't gone there yet. I'm not going to lie to you. I've been so one step at a time focused. Like I've planned out a lot of things through the summer that we're going to do as a program, but But no, I have not mentally been able to go there about like I don't know who's going to start in any position, so I haven't even thought about when I say that to you before.
I will guarantee this. I will guarantee you this. You know, they say that pregame speech lasts one play. You may get 2 or 3 out of yours.
We'll get a couple plays.
Yeah,
we'll get.
they will be juiced. The opening kick. See, the only problem is can you make me a deal? Can I have a home visit Tyler Siskey request?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you can have a request. I'll let you
a request. So
you
if you do win the toss or whatever, and you kick off first, can you please tell your kicker not to kick it deep? I want to see the kickoff team running there and knock the shit out of somebody.
Yeah,
after the pregame speech.
Have a physical football play. I think we could probably work that out.
We can do something like that, like a squib or something, just so I can see contact.
Yeah, we could consider that.
There's nothing worse than having a great pregame speech and then the kicker going and kicking the shit 4 rows deep in the.
It's all right.
Yeah, everybody's like, okay, well, here we go. Like, at least get one play out of it.
Right. Well, I mean, you never know. We might run a trick play on the first play. You never know.
I like how I was trying to set you up so you could talk some shit, but you just went straight. Yeah. You reeled it back in. I like it. That was slick. That's the head coaching is coming. You're getting good at it already.
We got to start winning some games first.
All right. I want to talk about. I love whoever came up with it in your creative team. And if as you're listening, y'all really need to go to Troy's football Twitter and look at you're doing what they call, that's how you're introducing your staff to the fans and everybody. You're doing a thing called Campus Ride, and you're in a golf cart and you go around and you basically have a conversation with your coaches. Yeah. And that is an awesome, it's a fun deal. But I do have a question. Who's following you in the green gator behind you? Because it's like they bob and weave and they get in. It's like a Secret Service following you around. Is that your security detail or what we got?
No, it is a great way to introduce the staff. I can assure you it was not my idea. My mind's been on football, etc. It was really it's Adam Prendergast, who is our sports information director. He's the driver, and then Caleb Gray, who works with Adam, is a really good young creative mind, and he's the creative mind doing all this. And so I'm
impressed.
He's got the I don't know what they got going on. They're driving a Gator. The Gator is freaking, it rolls. Like that thing's strong.
I know.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool. You got one?
Has Miss Judy not told on me about my Gator story yet?
Oh yeah. You talking which one? You talking about? I've heard a couple of stories. I've heard about I think the most infamous story about you here is the baseball game or something as well. One I've heard.
Well, the other one is not as well known because we kind of swept it on the rug. So I can tell it. I don't care. I guess statute of limitations.
You had a Gator when you were in college here?
No. So Brock Nutter and Lawrence Tynes lived together.
Yep.
All right. So we were I don't remember who we were playing. We had a playoff game. And back then we were FCS at the time.
Correct.
And the playoff games were at 1:00. All right. Every one of them. And so we played, and then Brock and LT were having a party at the house afterwards. And so we'd gone over there and had a good time, probably, overindulged. And somehow or another in the conversation, so they lived, there used to be where the arena is now. Okay. Yeah. There's a golf course right there, right around the practice field.
There still is like an efficiency golf setup, like where the golf team practices here.
Okay, well, there was it was one of those like 9-hole courses that has two boxes.
Yeah.
And it was right on campus.
Yeah.
And so Brock and LT lived on the back side of the golf course where the sorority houses and stuff were, or they used to be. Yep. They had one of the university houses. The university used to own a house right there on the corner, and as part of their scholarship, somehow, I don't know how the starting quarterback and LT got to get in that house. I still haven't figured that out, but anyway.
It was NIL before.
It was NIL before NIL, right?
Yeah.
Statute of limitations, we're good. All right, so we go over there, and then somehow or another in the topic of conversation, Brock tells us that his mailbox key that we used to have the mailboxes at the on the campus fit and worked on the Gator. So we late at night walked across the golf course to the football facility and stole Tony's Gator.
Oh gosh, Tony Ferrante.
Yes.
Tony is just retired.
I know. That makes me feel real old because it was like his second year when I was playing there. It was like his second year ever working.
Yeah,
So
Tony's been an amazing.
he's a stud, man. He's
He's
one of my
been
favorite equipment guys of all time. Him and Ken Crane.
worker. He's
All
a
right.
worker.
So we stole the gator, and it was I can't remember for reasons. I can't remember exactly
Yeah.
who all was in it. I just know I was in the back. I remember Blake Carruthers, who was my roommate, was in there with me. He played center. So him and I were in the back, like in the
Yeah.
carry part. And I think it was Brock and LT in the front. I think LT has denied this since then. I think because he had a pro career to worry about, but I think he may. I need to get him on here to get him to tell a story. But we drove it to the bar, to the front porch.
Wow.
From the facility.
Wow.
And parked it right in the front.
There you go.
And that's what we showed up in.
That's a good Saturday night in Troy, Alabama, man.
And then, but the problem was we had to get it back. There wasn't the problem, and maybe I don't want to get anybody in trouble because I don't know if anybody's still working for the police. We had some back then, but this was before social media and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, of course.
So we were able to.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, the Troy Police Department are studs. I'll just say it like that.
They are.
The Troy Police Department are very good people, and they take care of people. We found a way to get that bad boy back to the facility, but we did get in trouble, and had to Shaughnessy had to run us. So on Monday morning. So that was before social media though. Now you'd probably be on the headlines of CNN getting in trouble.
Sorry, my lights went out again.
You got that's what you get for having motion sensor lights.
Hold on a second. I don't know. Does it clap on lights?
Clap on, clap off.
Does it respond? Does it respond noise? I'm like trying to figure out.
All right, I got a quick question for you. This is a request from a Trojan alum. Can we get Miss Judy in a golf cart ride with Coach?
I will do my best. I will ask her. I'm not sure if she's going to want it posted on social media, but I will get it filmed and send it directly to you if she does not. But Miss Judy's the queen bee around here. She gets with, she's in charge. So
she was there. Judy Morgan has been there since, well before I was there. Okay. Yeah. And she's still there. And she is like the team mother. And she's a
team mom. She's unbelievable, man. She makes our players brownies for their birthday. Like still, like to this day, is at every event, every sporting event. Like I go to Pensacola for the Sun Belt basketball tournament because our men's and women's team both had good years and they're both playing deep in the Sun Belt tournament. And Judy's at all those games. And she's all in with Troy and with our players. She is like the team mom. We actually have an event coming this weekend with our current players' families, and she's been on top of that and the alumni event we're having in a couple weeks. She's really, really good and loves this place, but I don't know that I can convince her, but I'll try.
Yeah, you got to convince her.
She'd probably end up asking me a bunch of questions. I don't need that recorded.
I mean, it was just, I came back, I don't know, a few weeks ago, whenever it was, I came to visit with union staff a few weeks ago, and, I walk in the door, I see her, and it was like I never left.
Yeah.
And it's 20, we're going on 20 something years now, cuz, you know what I mean? And she was telling me, she told me stories I forgot about me. She probably told you some stories that I kind of had.
A couple stories on you. Yeah.
But she's just, and the thing about it is I wasn't somebody special. That's what I guess the point I'm trying to make. I was just another player.
Right.
And she loves everybody, remembers everybody, knows everybody's story. She gets to know people. And it's just she's just such a special person. And I'm excited she's still there with you. And it just made me feel at home. Like when I came in, it made me feel so much at home when I saw her. It was a good feeling.
Well, that's her heart. She is so kind to everybody in our program. She's like the team mom. And so she's great. She's always been awesome to me and my family and our players. This whole program, she could tell you, I think she could probably tell you dang near every player that's ever played here.
I guarantee
she's like, there will be guys stop by that played like she'll tell me, "Hey, John, this guy stopped by. He played here in 1991. This is what he does now." Like, she just knows everybody. She's very tight end, very loving, very supportive. But I'll ask her if she wants to do a video golf cart ride. We'll see what her response is.
That would be very popular amongst the former players.
Yeah,
I can promise
it would
you that.
be. It would be.
All right, so we can't talk before we close this thing out, man. You've been gracious with your time, especially the day before spring ball. If you didn't love me so much, you wouldn't be doing it.
I love you. Hey, look, I got plenty. I'm working. I ain't going nowhere.
All right, so we can't talk about Troy without talking about Coach Larry Blakeney. Just a, and I'll tell a little bit. So, when he didn't ever owe me anything. Okay, I transferred from Auburn, and he was the head coach, and he came in, gave me an opportunity, and then just to be honest with you, my first year I sucked it up. Okay, I didn't play up to expectations and all that stuff, and then and I'll tell it in a later podcast, but I got hurt, not even playing football. I got hurt in an off-season injury, helping my dad paint a house, fell 40 feet off of a roof, literally on June the 23rd, 2000. I can tell you the day, June the 23rd, 2000, fell 37 and a half feet. All right. And again, he didn't owe me anything. And I remember him calling me. And then this is how I got into coaching. He calls me, and I'm still at the, I'm laid up, and he calls me. And back then we didn't have cell phones. He called me on my home phone. He says, "Hey, I talked to Chuck." He goes, "I know you're probably done." He goes, "I got a spot coaching inside receivers. Would you be interested?" And like, he gave me an opportunity. Yeah. And then from that, he got me my first job with Steve Roberts at Northwestern State. Every job that I ever got, Larry Blakeney called for me. And just where he's at for me, it's hard for me not to get emotional.
Yeah.
Because how much he means to me. So I'll let you take it over before I get crazy.
Well, he is, he's the GOAT here at Troy. I mean, he's got his name's out there on that football field when I look out my office. And likewise, Coach Blakeney's kindness to me, I'll tell you, I got hired here when Neil Brown took the job in December of 2014. I think I was the first new hire that showed up here in December with Neil's new staff. And I'll never forget Coach Blakeney introducing me to some former Troy guys and former players. And he told them, he said, "Hey, this is John Sumrall. He's going to be coaching linebackers." And he said, he's one of us. And like, Coach Blakeney didn't know me that well. I mean, he knew of me, and we had met a couple of times. But like, he'd always say it to people, "He's one of us. He's one of us." And just basically letting them know, "Hey, this is one of the good guys. He's about the right stuff. He's here for the right reasons." And was always really, really kind. Love the man. Obviously a ridiculously good football coach with the success he had, overseeing, the transition here at Troy from FCS to FBS and all those things that happened under his time as head coach here. And but ridiculously good human, great football coach. I think probably cared about his players, staff, the people around the program as much as anybody out there. So I think a great example for all head coaches. Like, if I could do that part of this job as good as him, I'd be pretty pleased with the result of just making sure the people in the building know relationally, yeah, winning and losing is going to matter. The scoreboard matters, but at the end of the day, also people matter. And we want to embody that was Coach Blakeney's personality of how he ran the program, of just about people and loving the people and caring about the people that are in your program. So he was so good at that. And Coach Blakeney is a Troy Trojan legend and a college football legend. I mean, he really is.
And that's what, it's hard. There's a few that's been instrumental in my career, in my life, but it's hard for me to talk about him without getting emotional, because of how much that he's meant to me. And he probably, and as much as, and he probably doesn't even know how much he actually means to me and in my career, and how instrumental he has been in everything I've done. I G'd there, played for him, G'd for him, and just, here's how when I'm being serious, I still to this day, I had to, and I was, back then before it's all PC and all that stuff, and you can't treat people. I had to make his coffee every morning. Okay, and that's when you
Right.
start from the bottom. I was at the
Oh
bottom
yeah.
of the
Yeah.
bottom of the bottom of the totem pole, and I had to make his coffee for him every morning. But when he come in there and watch offensive film, to this day, I'm 44 years old. I prepare my coffee the same way that I had to prepare his coffee every morning, which
Yeah.
is you
How
have to
about
put
that?
I don't use sweet and low, but I put 1 pack of Splenda in my coffee. So I put it in before I put the coffee in, and
Yeah.
you don't stir it. Like that's how he made his, or I didn't know that. That's how I had to make it for him. But it's stuff like that. Everything I do. But he's been so instrumental, and it's not just me, it's thousands of players, and it's not, again, that's why I wanted to make sure everybody understood that I wasn't anything special. I wasn't some
Right.
star quarterback
Yeah.
or star receiver that won him a bunch of games. I did absolutely nothing for him,
Yep.
that brought him any success, and he treated me like I was the best player that ever lived. And it's hard to
Well,
um,
he treated everybody that way. I mean, that's how he's wired, and that's why he impacted so many lives and had an influence over so many people. And uh, he was the type of man that wasn't going to treat you a certain kind of way because of what you could do for him. He was going to treat you well just because that's how he treated people, and that's what has made his impact in college football so special. And fantastic, fantastic dude. Honored, like for me to be able to hold the same role that he once held is it's an honor because he's about the right stuff.
Well, I'm excited for Troy. I obviously, a lot of people that listen know this. I'm a graduate. I'm an alumni. I played there, not very well, but I did. Um, and I'm glad that because y'all are cut from the same cloth, and he was right when he said that. Um, and there's certain places that certain type of people are successful, and it couldn't be a better fit for you there. I'm excited for you to be there, and excited for the excited that you got your shot, and I can't wait. I will be there in your first game. I'll be there.
Yeah,
You know that. I'm just excited for you, and so glad that I could get you on again. I know you're busy, and I appreciate the hell out of you, brother, and I appreciate your time.
dude, I appreciate you. Always got love for you and your family, and grateful for everything that you've meant to us, and glad to be able to be episode 7 and now episode 50.
That's
So
right, man.
anything y'all ever need, I'm a phone call away.
You bet, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, appreciate you.